that you're doing it on purpose. Sing like a singing on key. Talk to the girl that intimidates you. Pretend that you're brilliant and charming. I said pretend that you're brilliant and charming. Hey!
Later with Jason Suel, welcome into the studio, folks. It is so great to be back in our studio. At least Bo and I are back in the studio. There you are, Bo, bringing you into the show. So good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's good to be here, even though I'm on the other side of the room.
Yes, you're totally on the other side of the room. We're in fall now, heavy fall season, and I know that we've kind of we've been crying our eyes out because movies are something I do when the weather turns cold.
Just been crying pumpkin spice tears.
And it looks different this year because all the movies have been pushed back indefinitely, some of them.
It's hard to be entertained when you don't really want to go out of the house so much.
Yeah.
And being in the house, you're just so tired of all the same stuff. That's the cool thing about summer and fall and how they work together is normally you get out of the house so much so that when winter comes and fall comes, you're happy to be inside the house. But we're sick of being inside the house.
We are, and you know, one of the things that I've really enjoyed this summer doing with my family is that the kids got a karaoke microphone for Christmas. So we've been playing.
You're so happy about that.
I'm thrilled. Hamilton has been on repeat. They've been karaokeing that show since it dropped on Disney Plus earlier this year. But
don't invite me over. I've heard it.
That invite's lost in the mail somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
Absolutely. So speaking of entertainment, we do have a couple of those things on the show today. So check it out. Fayetteville Film Festival is coming up. They're in their 13th year. So we're joined by Russell Sharman, Raymond House. Both of them got great stuff to talk about when we interview them a little bit later in the show.
So you got movies.
Got movies, and we've got Big Box Karaoke joining us on the show. Justin's joining us from Big Box, and they always have so much going on. The great thing about them is when you are ready to venture back out, you can reserve a private room. You can feel safe in that space, inviting only like your family if you want to go.
It's like you never left the house to start with.
Exactly. And then stick around because we got all that other fun stuff happening later. Jason Suel here for Bike Eureka. We are out here at beautiful Lake Leatherwood City Park in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And we are fortunate enough right now and honored to be joined by the mayor of Eureka Springs himself, Butch Berry, joining us. And something I just learned about Butch is that he is a native, right? You're from here, so you've seen a lot of transition in this space, but it's also stayed true to the nature that it was created to be. Talk to us about what you love about Lake Leatherwood and what it means to the city of Eureka.
Well, like you mentioned, I was born and raised in Eureka Springs. I remember growing up, and Lake Leatherwood was a place we came out to swim, hike, boat, canoe, and it's still basically, I can look down at the dam, and look up toward the fishing dock or the swimming dock. It's all still pretty much the same as it was 50 years ago. Yeah. But we've added some attractions. The boat dock has expanded out. Of course, now we have a handicapped access for kayaks. Yeah. That's just been new within the last 2 or 3 years. And then we got the first gravity trails between the Rocky Mountains and the Appalachians.
It's amazing. Those Lake Leatherwood trails, those gravity trails that you mentioned are just awesome. You can drop in at the top and ride all the way coast, all the way down really to the bottom, and then you end up very close to where we're sitting right now.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, now we're joined by Justin Huss. He's with Eureka Springs. We've also got Dustin Slaughter joining us to talk to us a little bit about the trails. Let's start with you, Justin. Again, this place, man, it's got camping and it's got boating, all things, all kind of amenities happening out here. Tell us about this beautiful city park.
Absolutely. Really just kind of your one-stop outdoor experience here. Really are. We have tent camping, we have some electric sites, we have a few RV sites, we have cabins, we have some camping cabins, which are kind of in between camping and a cabin. Yeah. Obviously we have 80-acre spring-fed Lake Leatherwood is the heart of our park out here, which offers us our boat rental fleet of canoes, kayaks, paddle boards, pedal boats. excellent fishing in the lake, and you can do that all without ever leaving the park. You can spend a whole weekend or week here and do something different every day.
That's right, you totally could. And speaking of one of the things you can do every day if you choose to is biking. You can do parking and riding. You can camp, spend the night, and ride the trails. Talk to us, Dustin, about the trails here and how they connect to Lake Leatherwood City Park.
Yeah, like you said, Jason, it's a great place where you can come, you can park your car, and you have tons of options, tons of variety of trail, anything from cross-country trails that go up and down the mountains that surround the park. There's 7 gravity-fed trails here that you can take a shuttle up, ride down, and you can do that as many days as you want. And with access to over 100 miles of trail in Eureka now, or close to it.
Yeah, right around there.
It's endless. The opportunities you have to come stay here and ride your bike.
Yeah. I'm curious, are the shuttles open right now? Because I know for a time during the pandemic they've been closed.
Yeah, we have the shuttles operating on weekends now, and we do have the official Leatherwood Gravity Project Facebook page that we try and keep our hours up on that. Lots of people wanting to ride, lots of people out here today. We've seen lots of folks out here as we've been talking.
Yeah, for sure. And then one of the things I love about it is there's plenty of space too for social distancing for folks who are concerned about being outside and being able to keep your distance. You can absolutely do it here at beautiful Lake Leatherwood City Park in Eureka Springs. Well, we have had a beautiful day here at Lake Leatherwood in Eureka Springs. Absolutely gorgeous, and there are multiple ways to pedal. You can cycle. You can also rent a pedal boat, which we have done. You guys ready?
Yep.
All right, Jason Suel for Bike Eureka. Let's ride.
Sam's Furniture doing good. Shine a spotlight on your neighborhood.
Well, we're here in the dining section at Sam's Furniture, and we're joined by Chris Fox from Bethany Christian Services. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what the nonprofit does.
Okay, so we're a faith-based Christian organization, provide pregnancy counseling and adoption services for families in Northwest Arkansas. So if there's a pregnant mom out there, she doesn't know what to do, she's scared, she can come to us and we'll talk to her about her options of if she wants to parent or if she'd like to place for adoption. And then also my primary responsibility is to go out and talk to adoptive families, let them know the process of adoption, and walk them through the process of doing the adoption, meet them at the hospital and support them if they are adopting a baby. And then make sure they get settled in once that baby is placed in their home.
Man, you guys do so much. If people are watching right now, they want to get involved, they want to learn more, how can they do that?
They can go to www.bethany.org, or they can email us directly at rmorris@bethany.org.
Man, you got all the info. I love it. Bo, what's the...
I think it's time to get involved.
Welcome back, everybody. Later with Jason Suel. So glad that you are tuned in on this Saturday night entertainment television with heart. So glad to be welcoming a couple of studio guests into our studio virtually. Russell Sharman and Raymond House, both board members with the Fayetteville Film Festival, are joining us to talk about this year's festival. Gentlemen, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for hanging out. Good to see you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for having us. Absolutely.
Yeah, you bet. So I'm curious, obviously I have, been a part of the organization and still am, but for you two, talk about maybe, Russell, the organization Fayetteville Film Festival and your mission in our community.
I think from the beginning, the mission was not just let's bring some films in so we can watch some art house cinema, but how can we create a nexus for the filmmaking community so we can really support the filmmaking industry? I mean, it's become an industry, but certainly over the last decade, there have been a growing community of filmmakers, technicians of all different stripes, who are invested in content creation. So I think the festival, part of our mission, and a really core part of our mission, is to continue to nurture that community, which is why, it's so tough this year when we can't all get together in the same room, but we're gonna do what we can to still foster that mission.
I'm curious though, Russell, maybe you can speak to this one, the current mood of like the indie film industry and just the current mood of filmmaking in general right now. Can you shed some light on how people are feeling about that these days?
Well, sure, I can speak to that, from my own experience in terms of being part of the festival, but also just sort of what it's like to be a content creator right now. Back in March, I remember the first domino that fell was South by Southwest canceling their festival, just canceling outright. And it was a real sort of tragedy for the filmmakers who were left in a lurch, and a lot of other festivals came together and said, hey, we'll take your submissions for free. We were one of those who did that. In hopes that either this thing would resolve quickly or we find some solution. Obviously, it did not resolve quickly. There's still very much a hunger for sharing work, even in this time. Yeah. But in terms of like actual content creation, I think everyone's sort of taking it at their own pace. I know here in Northwest Arkansas, there's still a lot of stuff happening at studios like Rock Hill and the Farm in Bentonville. I mean, stuff is still getting made.
And it has to be because most people are sitting through at home, churning through Hulu and Netflix going, I need more. And yeah, we got to get it to them.
So I know that the festival also has a new initiative that is kind of come to light in terms of the current climate in America. Can you fill us in on what's happening with that BIPOC scene with Fayetteville Film Festival?
We are not only creating educational and networking opportunities for, and specifically BIPOC, with the acronym meaning for Black, Indigenous, and People of Color, to create educational and networking opportunities along with, earmarking funds to help fund some of the efforts they have around creating art that's specific for telling stories that from that perspective, those BIPOC perspectives. And so November 15th, if I'm not mistaken, Russell, I think that's the date we kind of set on to be able to make the announcement officially and to start taking applications for filmmakers to be a part of that and to take advantage of that. And really excited because I think that's something that increases the representation that may be lacking, especially here within our community, but also as a whole, strengthening the level of film, the level of art, and taking it to the next level.
That's great. I love to hear that initiative being thought of even by the Fayetteville Film Festival and putting it out there. It sounds like a great program that you have going. And speaking of programs, I know the festival is happening. Russell, you talked about this going to a virtual format. Can you give us that who, what, where, when, why? When's it happening? Give us all the details.
So that kicks off November 5th. We're going to have a sort of industry panel, a round table of local companies that are content creators. That'll be an opportunity for folks in the community to interact with them and learn more about careers in media making. And then we're going to have a rolling sort of premiere list of films. We have more feature films than we've ever had this year, 10 feature films, both narrative and documentary films. Again, because we're not meeting in person, we don't have to worry as much about scheduling the theater space. So it'll be a sort of rolling premieres that then will play for a week. You'll have a whole week to watch them. And we're going to have our Fayetteville Pitch Prize, as ever, our third annual Fayetteville Pitch Prize. That's going to be Saturday, November 14th. And that is, you can apply for that online on our website right now. Go in and sign up for that. And that's always been super fun. And the winner of that contest gets $2,000 in cash to make their film. And we will screen it at the next year's Film Fest.
So give us the website, though. You mentioned a website where people can find out more information. What is that?
That is FayettevilleFilmFest.org.
Awesome. Gentlemen, again, thank you so much for taking the time. Always great to see you. Always great to hang out. Russell, Raymond, thanks again. And stick around, folks. We got more happening later.
Smith & Associates Real Estate is a proud sponsor of Later with Jason Suel. They're excited to be a part of the growth and continued success in Northwest Arkansas.
Wake up in the morning with you right by my side. I wanna take our time cooking up some breakfast, but ooh, you got me tempted to hop in the shower, to talk to you for hours. You take my breath away. Can we stay in today? Tell me that you love me. Tell me that you're mine. I want you all the time, 'cause you make me feel so good. And when I feel, it's understood how I feel. And now I feel so good. You make me feel so damn good. You make me feel. It's the way you kiss my forehead, the way we tangle up in bed. You used to tell me time moves slowly. I think I finally understand. You take my breath away. Can we stay in today? Tell me that you love me. Tell me that you're mine. I want you all the time, 'cause you make me feel so good. It's understood how I feel. And now I feel so good. You make me feel so good. You make me feel.
Welcome back, everybody. Later with Jason Suel. So glad that you are tuned in, and we're welcoming back one of our favorite spots in Fayetteville, Big Box Karaoke. Justin's joining us.
Yeah, my neighbor.
Yeah,
He's just right down the street.
Right there on Block. Man, it's so good to see your face. I can't wait for the day when we can have people back in the studio, because this segment would be amazing in the studio. But you got a lot of stuff happening at Big Box, and I'm just pitch it to me. For people who haven't heard of Big Box Karaoke, I don't know if they've been living under a rock or what they've been doing, but what do you do there? Tell us about your space.
Well, you know, a lot of us have been living under a rock these last 6 months,
That
obviously.
is true.
But yeah, no, we've been around since the end of 2018. You know, obviously these last 6 months have been a challenge for all of us in this industry, but you know, we've been focused on reinventing ourselves. One of the things that we did here at Big Box is add a patio in the last basically 2 months.
It's one of the coolest patios on Block Street. It's like right there on the street. You had all that space in front of your building anyway, and beautiful.
Yeah, so you do karaoke obviously in the rooms. You got the patio, you've got food, you've got sake. So what do you have there in front of you? I kind of see a bottle over there to the side.
I recognize a sake bottle.
There we go. Yeah.
So I brought a couple of sakes. What's been the most popular thing lately has been our new nachos that we added to the menu. And so the BBK nachos are, they are topped with our house-made salsa, our house-made cheese sauce.
There they are right there. Look at that.
Oh.
Yes.
And char siu
I know.
pork.
I wish you could get it so close that we could eat it, because that'd be amazing.
I'm actually probably going to get some later tonight, so what am I talking about?
So these sakes go well with those spicy nachos? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yep. So these sakes, these are all what's called a nigori sake. Okay. These are all cloudy. Some people say unfiltered. They are still filtered. They're just more coarsely filtered than traditional ginjo level sakes. And so these types of sakes pair well with spicier foods. And if you've been to Big Box, you know we have a little spicy flair with it, whether it's kimchi or jalapenos or our spicy pickled green beans. And these nachos are topped with some jalapenos and some char siu pork as well. So all those flavors create a really cool umami experience with the sake.
Yeah.
Ooh, mommy.
Yeah. Bo, I know you love Big Box Karaoke. What's your favorite dish? I know you gave Jill and I, when we were headed over there, you gave us some recommendations.
I think my favorite dish is when I walk in the door, a big glass of Tanuki sake. I don't know if that's a dish, but it's one of my favorites. But honestly, anything with that char siu pork, the soba noodles are always super great. But those nachos, I'm not kidding. I've been eating too many of those nachos. They're dangerous. And the best thing about Big Box that I really love is, despite everything that's going on in the world, like, you can have a private, intimate, very socially distanced, safe experience there.
Justin, do you have a website, or if viewers are interested in finding out more information before maybe they feel safe venturing out, they kind of want to know what the game plan is there at BBK, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can go to bigboxkaraoke.com. You can easily make a reservation there if you're interested in coming on. We actually uploaded a new sake club. If you're interested in learning more about sake, you can sign up for that as well. Lots of great information there, and obviously follow us on social, Instagram and Facebook. We're always posting stuff there and keeping everybody updated about what we're doing.
Yeah, you always make stuff look so good too. All photos of food. It always makes me hungry. And you are such a great addition, I believe, to kind of the downtown Fayetteville scene and everything that's going on.
The only place in Northwest Arkansas you can really, truly learn about sake.
So, folks, when you're ready to venture out, when you feel safe, I think that Big Box Karaoke could be one of the first places that you should stop because he just does amazing work. So, Justin, thank you for your time. Thank you for at least showing us. I can't wait to get over there myself, the sake and the nachos. We appreciate you.
Thank you all.
Absolutely.
I'll be there tonight.
Stick around, folks. We got more happening later. Yes, what he's absolutely, Bo. I totally agree with you. That's our show, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Later with Jason Suel. And remember, of course, you can find us out there on your social media platforms. Send us an email over at laterwithjasonsuel.com. We had Russell Sharman, Raymond House from Fayetteville Film Festival joining us. Thank those guys for their time.
What a stacked show. We also had Justin from Big Box Karaoke showing some of the awesome stuff they have to offer.
Yeah, that's right. Great entertainment happening here in Northwest Arkansas. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.